So the past couple of days, I've been attending a Farming Forever conference held by Farmers for Climate Action. And in this video, we're pretty much just going to quickly run through what each day entailed. And we get to talk to the CEO and a couple of people just from the conference, just some of the really great people I met. And I'd just like to say thank you to Farmers for Climate Action for holding the conference and also sponsoring me, my dad and my brother to go. I think that we're very lucky to actually have Farmers for Climate Action to be throwing things like this to get awareness out there. Anyway, let's just get into it. And we got to remember this video is my opinion, okay? It's not anybody else's, it's mine. So this is the truth, you know? And I'm young as well, so when I talk about politics, just take it lightly. Like, who really gives a shit? So just take it lightly, right? So I would tell you all about Farmers for Climate Action, but I think there's someone that can tell you much better. I was lucky enough to meet Natalie Collard, and she's the CEO of Farmers for Climate Action. And this conference was actually a 10-year anniversary of Farmers for Climate Action. Anyway, Natalie Collard, very nice girl. I'll start playing the video now. All right, today we're here with Natalie from Farmers for Climate Action, and she's just going to tell us all about it and what their goal is, and yeah, who she is.
Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to the Farming Forever National Summit. It was our first ever National Summit in Canberra after 10 years of existence, and that's a huge achievement for us because we started 10 years ago with only 30 farmers that met in the Blue Mountains, and they were so frustrated. The clue to what we do is in the name, Farmers for Climate Action. We get climate change is real because you guys see it on your farms every single day, and unfortunately, half of Australia's experiencing really extreme weather events, whether it be drought, flood, or other really challenging results from the 1% of warming we've had so far. And we know that we've got another percent of warming coming, which is really hurting farmers and it's hurting profitability. It's costing every farmer $30,000 per annum to deal with. So we're about being positive, being part of the solution. We've grown from 30 farmers to over 8,400 farmers, and about 320 of us came to Canberra to tell politicians, we're here to be part of the solution. We're reducing emissions all day, every day. We'd love your support to do more and do it better, so get behind farmers. But also we got together and we shared stories and we thought about how do we change this world so that we can be farming forever. Our goal is as simple as that, having farms that are for your grandkids and great-grandkids, and a planet that is thriving and nature's thriving. We've got biodiversity and it's profitable and productive. We want to feed the world in the right way, and we love the great results we get. We had a beef farmer here yesterday who's carbon neutral, and he gave his presentation. And then we found out that the Sydney Fine Food Show gave 3 of his pies bronze, silver and a gold medal. I mean, it tastes good and it feels good to be a farmer for climate action.
I just want to apologise for not having the best audio or camera quality. I didn't have my camera or my microphones with me on the last day of the conference, so I just kind of had to work with what I got. And also, how good's this view? This is the Airbnb that we're staying at. The hills look really like less hilly on camera, but I'll put some drone footage in this video. I'll put it in at the end. Yeah, look how good this is. I met some really awesome people while I was at this conference. It was just I think it was a great environment that you could literally just go up and talk to anybody and tell your story and hear their story. I met Natalie. I don't even know how many people. I think there were 300 people at the conference. There were like 130 farmers, then everybody else was like press and like scientists. I don't know, like all the other sort of people. There's such a big range of people, and I think it's like, it was just great being around a bunch of other like-minded people. And yeah, look, I've got a little interview with Joe, so I'll show that now. And look, this woman, she's great. Okay, full stop, she's great. All right, we're here with Jo Shremby, and I just want to introduce her because she's such a nice, loving person.
Thank you, Dylan.
What's your farm and why are you here today?
So we've got a property at Lowonga, which is just west of Gympie in Queensland. We've got a beef property. I've got another one in northern New South Wales in Warialda. And we are here, we've been here for the last 3 days, as you have, because we are pretty passionate about finding a sustainable solution for our property, long term for our family, for our kids. We've also stepped into a renewable energy project on our place, and we are active renewable advocates. We're part of an organisation, or a business I should say, called Ag Energy Australia, and like you, we've come to find like-minded people that are positive and proactive about making a difference. Little bits we can do. So
No, that's great. All right, she'll be in the YouTube video. She's watching this right now. You're seeing it. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
No, that was just one of the many people that I met. Like, I think I'd probably talk to like 100 people, and honestly, I wish I had more time to talk to them. Like, a lot of the time at this conference, the first 2 days, it was mainly like just sitting there and listening, which is okay, but I feel like you have to be fully engaged in the topic. And if you're not engaged with the topic, like sometimes the topic, they can be talking about it for like an hour and a half or something like that. So I feel like unless you're super engaged in the topic, you just kind of want to talk to people, but you can't talk to people, you know? So I think my favourite part was actually like the lunches and the afternoon teas, morning teas and all that, because I'll just go out there, I'll just sit around and I'll start talking to people, eat food, you know, the food was great too. And I just start talking to people. So that's why I reckon that was my favourite part. But I reckon most of the speakers I really liked, you know, like there was Mike Casey. He was an electric farmer from New Zealand. He has, I think it was either 11 or 21 electric machines on his cherry farm, and he runs the entire thing off electricity. There's not a single gas-powered or diesel-powered thing on his cherry farm. He's in New Zealand, near Queenstown. That's what I got from that, in the South Island. And yeah, look, I really liked his thing. Like, he converted a tractor. I think he converted something. Yeah. And there was like Robert McKenzie. He's a cattle farmer. He just recently won, as Natalie said in the video, he got bronze, silver and gold in 3 different pies. Of course, it's always great to listen to Natalie. She talked every day, and that was just great because whatever she said, it was interesting, you know. And there was Professor Andrew McIntosh, something like that. I really liked him because he was really like straightforward. Like, he kind of knew what he wanted to say and he just said it. You know, like, he wasn't afraid of saying what he thought. And he just seemed like he actually knew, you know, like, I don't know, he was very like compelling kind of. And on the last day, I can't remember their names because I don't have the sheet with all the names of what we did and that sort of stuff. There was this this lady, blonde, I don't know, and she talked about politics. I don't really go along with politics. I'm only 16, I don't have to vote. I just, whenever people talk about it, it just seems really, really, really annoying. So I normally don't follow along, but I'm just going to call her a blonde lady. If you're watching this and was at the conference, tell me her name in the comments, please. And and she just, I don't know, made me actually kind of interested in it. So I really liked her talking. And look, day 1 and 2 were great, but I really liked day 3 more because it was a lot more interactive. Like, there was this other lady, Jo, she was running day 3, and there were actually like, you would talk to people, you know, like the first bit of it, you'd listen, and then you go off and you do a bit of an activity. And I just think that was a lot more interesting from a younger point of view, because I feel like I just want to talk, you know. I love talking to people and making connections, and that's just what I got to do, you know. And so I really think day 3 was better. And there was the gala dinner, which was great. It was my first fancy dinner ever, and show up, and there was a seating plan, and I'm like, oh my god. And then my dad and my brother were sitting way away from me. and then and then I sit down, and then I made friends with all the people on my table. Like, I didn't care. I wasn't with my dad and my brother. Anyway, I actually had to buy new clothes for this conference because, I'm wearing a Carlton jumper. Yes, I go for Carlton. Go the Blues. I had to buy pants, shoes, jumper, shirt, like everything. We got sponsored to come to this. So I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's free. I spent $1,000 on clothes before I came here. Talk about free. Anyway, there was also a breakfast on at the National Press Club, I think it is, and it started at 7 a.m. and they were talking about it was something to do with like GrainCorp because they sponsored it and that sort of stuff. And I just couldn't understand. It was from like 7 to 8:30, and it was like my brain was still sleeping. I just didn't get it. And the night before the breakfast, there was the gala dinner, which I was up until like 11 o'clock, so I had to get up at like 6:30, so it was like 7.5 hours sleep. Oh my god, how horrible is that? But yeah, it was just like I needed to go back to sleep. Yeah, with the conference, I think the speakers and the people asking the questions, I feel like we kind of needed to get to the point a bit quicker. Like, I feel like there was this one-on-one workshop about making holistic decision making or something like that, and he talked about it, and it sounded like he was about to get to the part where you learn how to decision make, but the entire time he just kind of talked about all the decisions that make this world. Like, there was a decision made to put a road just there, you know, like things like that. And I feel like the conference would have been a lot more educational if we just got to the point sometimes and just skipped all the glabber about things that like didn't really matter, you know. But I feel like there's still a point that you have to tell your story to get it out there, but you know, you gotta get to the point, you know. But yeah, look, overall this was a great conference. Like, there's not much bad I would say about it. I think that even if I hated the bit where we just sat there and listened to people, I think it would be well worth it just to talk to all the people that were there. So I give the conference a 9 out of 10. It was great, you know. I hope everybody else enjoyed it. I'll get my dad out here. I'll get him to talk about what he reckons, so it's not just a young point of view telling whoever's going to watch this about what they think about carbon farming and that sort of stuff. Now, this is my personal opinion, okay? I don't want anybody to go, oh no, but you're wrong in the comments because it's my opinion. I don't give a shit, right? 16. Who really cares, you know? Why do you care what I think, you know? I think that if there was a wind farm right there on that skyline, I think that would add to how nice this looks. Like, I think they look sick, personally. And I think if I had my farm right here, right, just because there was a wind farm up there, and if I didn't own the land, I don't think I should get paid for it. Look, maybe a couple $100 off a power bill. That like, just to keep people happy, like the community happy, community engagement. You know, and I do think community engagement is important, but I think a farmer should be able to do whatever he wants with his farmland without people going, no, but it looks bad. Like, I don't know, I think farmers should be able to do what they want to make their own money, you know. Anyway, I'll get Dad out here now. Alright, Dad, so why'd you go to the conference, and what did you enjoy about it the most?
Well, I love a conference. Bit of a trip away, get off the farm for a while, just clear your head and, you know, surround yourself with different people and, you know, listen to interesting people talk, and those sort of events, I really like them. They're very positive. Most of the people there, with the exception of one, was, you know, just very, very positive about what we're doing and what Farmers for Climate Action are on about, and what we hope to achieve and how we're going to do it. But the whole title of the conference, Farming Forever, you know, indicates we have to be forward-looking on these things and make sure that, you know, what farming techniques that we do in this country are not destructive, because they definitely have been over the last couple of centuries, and it's about finding a new way forward with agriculture.
Yeah. Yeah. So, who was your favourite speaker?
There was a climate scientist there who had some really sobering statistical information that he put forward. So he was really good. The after dinner speaker at the gala dinner was really interesting. He was a fellow who'd relived this really hazardous journey on whaling boats through Antarctica, and that was an interesting story.
Yeah, I'll put his book in the photo right now.
It's just a lovely space to be in. The CEO of Farmers for Climate Action is just amazing. She's just incredible, the work she does. Yeah, the like I said, the vibe is just fantastic. The time you spend sort of having your morning tea and lunch and that are just fantastic opportunities to chat to people, and people are so open and want to know who you are and what you do, and then you want to know who they are and what they do, and particularly because it was a national thing, there was just farmers from everywhere. Met a lady from the Gascoyne in Western Australia on 1.5 million acres of cattle country, and then some dairy farmers in Gippsland, and talking to a bloke farms in this sort of country, which is sort of something I don't understand a lot about, but it's quite interesting. It's not the flat mallee country that I'm used to.
So, Dad, what's our plan going into the future to help with the Farming Forever plan?
So really, it just reinforced. We've all got our little patch of the woods to work on, and sometimes these things can be a bit overwhelming, and you think, oh, what can I do? But you've got to bring it back to your own patch, and what we're doing there with the soil carbon sequestration, and basically a shift from a cropping enterprise into a grazing enterprise, and which is still a work in progress, but that's why these sort of things are so nice. You can go back to your farm.
Can you talk about our plan for carbon farming and that?
Yeah, we've registered a carbon project over about 700 hectares of the farm. It's not all of it. We sort of chose the areas we thought would perform best in the soil carbon type scenario, but it's got a very big prospect for the, I suppose, for what's left of my farming career, and then being able to set the farm up, for the kids into the future, and work out a way to, how we run it so that they can run it, enjoy it, and into the future, and pass it on down another generation if that's what they want to do.
And if another farmer wanted to get into carbon farming, how should they do that? Who should they talk to?
There's a lot of information out there. There's companies like the one we chose, AgriProve, which are basically the proponents of the scheme and help you through it, through the bureaucratic side of it. We chose them because I thought that there's only so much time in the day, and my time was much better off spent, on the agricultural side of the issues of actually getting the carbon into the soil, and let someone else handle the bureaucracy of it, which will drive me nuts. So I'm much happier like this. They will get a good cut of it, but I think they're a very proactive company, and they're very active in the space and looking to improve and succeed and that sort of thing. But there's a lot of other companies out there, and there's other ways of doing it. There's not just the one way. It's a growing thing. The carbon credits we generate are basically their own financial instrument now. So there's different ways of looking at those sort of things and that. But you need to, anyone interested in it, you've got to take your time and work your way through it. And when you're comfortable, that's when you can commit to it.
So we've heard from me and Dad now. I think that if anybody has any questions, or if you were at the conference, say hello in the comments, you know, and if you weren't at the conference and you have any questions, you know, just let us know. I'll try my best at answering it, and if I need help, Dad's always here. But yeah, look, I end this video on a question. What do you think the future of farming is?